Hey guys, welcome to my very first vlog video. So this vlog's intention is to actually document my YouTube channel journey. I started on January 6th launching my first video, and I want to document the things that I'm going through. I started from absolutely 0 subscribers on this channel called Success with Trung, and this is a behind the scenes of what I'm doing each week to focus on what I am struggling with, things that I'm working on each week to grow the channel, and I'm going to kind of document how it's growing, the equipment that I'm evolving to as I'm going, but also just the things that I'm struggling with week in, week out, and what I'm working on next week to grow the channel. The intention of this channel is to really build up my brand, but also give and teach people a lot about business and entrepreneurship journey, so to help them basically build their business to the point where they can actually go full-time with their business. But also, business can't overtake your life sometimes if you let it, if you don't build the systems and the business in a way that actually gives you more freedom, flexibility, and actually fulfillment. This journey is going to be just documented as every week. I'm going to try to do one video a week to kind of tell you guys the things that have been working and the things that are not working. Okay, so jumping right into it. The first thing that I did was I actually took Sonny Lenarduzzi's course called YouTube for Bosses. Confession here, I actually bought this course in December of mid-year 2020. So it's almost a year and a little more than 14-15 months ago. I started the YouTube channel. And I started actually a previous YouTube channel, did it for a couple months, just kind of lost momentum, and then I bought Sonny's course. And then sad story is I actually didn't really watch it too much, and I kind of lost momentum and just got focused on trying to grow a coaching business. And so I didn't really use that program. It was $5.97 I think when I bought it. Recently, as I was conceiving this new channel, I rewatched the whole thing and am actually using that framework to grow this channel. So I wanted to create a channel where I can help people in their business and entrepreneurship journey. So I decided all in December I was going to actually just plan out what I want to do with this channel, who my clients were, who I wanted to serve, and just work on setting up the channel. So in this training that I got from Sonny, which is actually an amazing training, very thorough, to get you set up so that you're ready to start. And in doing so, it gave me a really good framework on, and a checklist actually of all the things that I want to do, from, getting the banners done, doing the description of the channel, what kind of content I should be doing, and the content calendar, and how to come up with ideas and everything. So I spent a couple weeks getting all that set up, figuring out what my logos are, using Canva most of the time to actually build out my graphics, the banner itself. I actually had a logo already from my coaching business that I used, and a color scheme that I used for that, but I did everything myself. And so I spent the holidays actually coming up with ideas, and the first 8 videos, as she recommends, about how to create that first 8 videos to set the groundwork and the foundation for your channel, so that you let YouTube algorithm know what type of content that you are creating, but also more importantly, who the video should be pushed to, right? So like if you're not clear about what you're producing and what type of content and who an ideal audience member could be, then the problem is YouTube doesn't actually know who to actually send those videos to or who to put it in front of. And so I need to be very clear on the videos that I'm producing are for entrepreneurs, people that are growing their business and are struggling and want to grow their business in a more systematic but also predictable way that actually gives them the freedom and the flexibility that they want and that they dreamed of having, and that's why they actually opened the business. But a lot of times what reality is and what actually they encounter and what they dreamed about is not often the same thing. And so I've actually make sure that the outline for the next 8 videos has been done. And so I spent a lot of my whole Christmas holiday month pretty much planning all this out. When I had finally set all the foundations of the channel up and the setup with the banners and the settings on the YouTube channel and everything, my next step was actually scripting up some videos. And so she has a hot script formula and a formula for the structure of a video, from the intro to calls for action, calls to actions, and where you should put your content, and then another call to action, and then questions and things like that. And so when I decided to script up my first 2 videos, I scripted it all up, and then I shot the videos and totally forgot about everything in terms of calls to action, about a nice intro, things like that. So I just literally jumped in front of the camera and started shooting videos. And then the problem was, what I thought was going to be an efficient way to do it by batching 2 videos, I did them both within 4 hours, I think. And then I started processing them and then realized, crap, they're about 30 minutes long per video after I even cut it down. And so 2 things happened. One, I realized that the videos are way too long for my first videos, because I was trying to cram so much content into that. But also what's even worse is that I didn't follow any of the things that Sunny's program actually taught, by having a proper intro, hook them while they're there, tell them why you're qualified to teach them, and then going into the materials. I just went straight into materials, didn't really do calls to action whatsoever until the end. And so I just totally abandoned that. And I realized the next go around, when I had to reshoot everything, I actually used that framework and followed it more closely. And so the videos got shortened because I cut out some material. And then what I thought was going to be a 4-hour batch shoot to create 2 videos ended up being 2 almost full days of shooting, editing, and things like that, because I was just trying to figure it out. And it was a little frustrating, but that's okay. I'm learning, and I know that as I shoot more, this is going to be a lot smoother, but that's just part of the process, right? And another thing that I had to do when I was ready to finally finish editing, creating the thumbnail in Canva, and then actually overcoming the anxiety that I had about launching a YouTube channel. And I think a lot of people fear what people are gonna think. And so for me, it wasn't so much that I was launching a YouTube channel, but that I was launching another YouTube channel, because I actually made an announcement like a year and a half ago about launching a channel, and then it just kind of fizzled. And so now I'm launching another YouTube channel, and I guess part of me was anxious about people thinking like, okay, here's another thing that you're trying, and maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not. But I pushed through that, and I made the announcement. I made the announcement on Facebook, which I have an okay amount of followings, but I actually haven't been that active in the last month and a half, 2 months. And so I don't think that it got the exposure or actually as many views as it could have. So let's talk about, after the first video, what actually happened and where I am now, because I'm shooting this about a week and a half after I launched my first video. And so after the first 48 hours, actually a week, I had about 47 views on the channel, actually on the first video. And so that was pretty cool. And then I went from 0 subscribers to 14 subscribers, mainly most of my friends and things like that. So I have no idea whether these are my ideal clients or not, but I am going to dig into it to see. But the things that I'm not going to focus on in the next probably 1 or 2 months is my metrics, and worry and stress about this too much, because from what I've learned and read and all online is that if you end up being focused too much on the vanity metrics about how many views and how many subscribers, things like that, you get distracted, and it can play with you emotionally. So what I'm gonna do is just check on it really quickly once a week, just to see where I'm at, see if I'm actually growing subscribers or not. But I'm not going to emotionally tie myself to whether I have more subscribers or not. I just want to know, using it as a business metrics to say, hey, am I growing new subscribers, and how can I grow them, merely as a exercising growing the channel, and not using it as a form of validation of any kind about whether it's working or not. Because all you need to do is make sure that you can start producing content consistently, and your first 10, 20, 30 videos apparently is just setting the foundation, and it doesn't actually get that many views because you don't have that many subscribers, right? So you need to put in that time, and you need to put in a bunch of videos just to even be able to get enough data set to know whether what you're doing is working or not. So 1 or 2 videos and you looking at the metrics and stressing about it doesn't really make any sense. So I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I'm purely going to just see it once a week, just to see if there's, hey, is it growing or not? And that's really it. And then I'm gonna continue to produce the videos that I had set out on my 60-day launch plan, and continue in that path undeterred, and just making sure that I stay on course, because I need 10, 20, 30 videos before I can actually make a decision about whether I need to continue making this kind of content or I need to pivot a little bit. Because if you do the decisions too early, then you're going to be hopping all over the place, because you just actually haven't had enough data to actually truly make a decision. You're just doing it on emotion. That's what I didn't want to do. So when I started this channel, I actually decided that I won't be buying any equipment. Although I wanted to, I love equipment. I used to be a photographer, so I love buying the right equipment and things like that to do it. But what I already had from my previous foray into shooting YouTube videos, I actually have a ring light which I use for my conferencing. So it's an 18-inch ring light that I'm using for my key light right here. I'm using a Movo shotgun mic that I bought 2 years ago. It's about 30 bucks for this microphone, and I just plug it straight into my iPhone 12 that I'm using as my camera. And then I'm using a little light bulb in the back behind me on actually, it's not even a studio light or anything, but it's basically a bare light bulb shining against the wall. I'm shooting in my bedroom, no backdrop whatsoever. So I'm going super bare bones minimum. I'm having a hair light back here that is just an LED panel light that I use for video conferencing, that I'm repurposing because I actually don't use it much anymore, because I actually have a ring light now that I mount actually right behind my monitor on my desk to provide me the proper lighting when I am shooting Zoom calls and things like that. So I'm going super bare minimum right now. Down the road, I would love to get a beautiful aperture light of some kind, and then maybe some RGB lights to kind of add more depth and a better background actually. But for now, I'm shooting just bare bones, and using the old light stands I've had. Some of these light stands I've had for 15 years plus, when I used to be a photographer, you know, holding up my background and my studio lights. But I'm repurposing everything and using what I already have without having to spend any more money. So in some time, I'll invest in a proper digital SLR, possibly a Canon, and then possibly some, bigger softbox of some kind. But for now, this is what I'm gonna go with, and I will let you guys know what happens this next week. Take care. Bye-bye.